Hey, Whale Wars. Do you ever watch the show Whale Wars, Lewis?
I've seen like a few minutes of it.
I was kind of into it for a while, and there's this new season coming up, so they've been playing a bunch of, and I have a little bit of video here that we can show you of what the show looks like if you're just not familiar with it. And we'll get the video up in a second. I used to be into this show, and then as I started doing more research, the premise is that there is this fleet, and that they have this boat called the Steve Irwin, and they're down in the near Antarctica, and the idea is to prevent whaling. They believe that Japanese whaling is being done illegally. And we can just run the video. We don't have to run audio from this. And it'll just give you a sense of what goes on. And I was kind of into it. I looked into it. And it actually seems that it's questionable whether what the Japanese are actually doing is illegal or not. We do know that there is definitely sale of whale meat happening in Japan with some of these whale parts that are allegedly being used for research. I don't want to get into a whole legal discussion of everything, but I think that's a pretty good assessment generally of the show.
Right.
Now, as I watched this show, I started to realize that some of the crew on the Steve Irwin may not be completely competent, because every single season, every single episode, it seems, they get into the same dilemma, which is one of two things. Number one, they don't have an ice-breaking ship. In the last season, they had a second ship, which was ice-rated. But they decide to follow the whaling fleet through the ice anyway. And when what happens inevitably, they slow down to a crawl. They're worried about holes breaking in the hull. It's not clear if they're going to get out. You've done it 10 times already. Every time I watch this, I wonder, don't we already know how this happens? Don't go through the ice. Do something else, because you just get stuck.
Yeah, but if you don't go through the ice, you've got no show.
Yeah, well, I guess you lose track of the whaling fleet. And then the other thing that seems to happen constantly is that they decide to go through storms also. They say, you know what, we're going to lose track of the whaling vessel. We need to go through the storm. And they come close to capsizing the boat, or it seems like it's a bad idea. Everybody gets seasick, etc. So I don't know if I'm on or off the show. I will watch the first episode and see what we're in for. I vaguely remember while they were filming this about 6 or 8 months ago, hearing that there was some kind of major incident that I guess is going to be part of this season. I don't know. If anybody watches this show, let me know. I really found it pretty interesting at first and compelling, but lately I've just had more trouble getting into it. Not to mention, more and more of the times that I see the kind of confessional where they have the captain or whoever just looking slightly off camera in the 60 Minutes shot, explaining what happened, it seems more and more staged. Like I see them kind of almost like smirking and laughing, which I guess is pretty normal for these shows.
You have to wonder that about a lot of reality shows.
Right. I think we can say, Lewis, with your film school experience, it's safe to say most of these shows are highly staged, or at least, well, we have a friend who was in a reality show, and he basically told us that he had a producer with him all the time, that they purposely would create situations that would be compelling for the show. In other words, it's not really reality.
Right.
At least not reality. It's not Lewis's reality. It's not white flip-flops.
Most people's reality is not my reality.
No.
No.
That's for sure. It's not sitting next to your white flip-flops barefoot in a radio studio in Massachusetts, for sure.
Sometimes I do this just to evoke a certain response from Dave.
Let's take a break. On the bonus show, a lot to talk about, including a teen who sold a kidney to afford one of the new iPads. Also, there's a new killer bacteria, speculation that China attacked Gmail. And of course, you get 10 entries for the iPad giveaway when you become a member, so it's really the time to do it.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.